Okay, good evening everyone. We have a few different topics that we're going to discuss in the next hour. And we are a few days before Purim. This Shabbos is Purim. Purim and Chanukah are very special holidays. It's holidays that were not made by HaShem, made by the rabbis. And even when Mashiach comes and things is going to change in the world, those two holidays remain forever. Nobody can change that just because it was made by the rabbis, because HaShem wanted to show us that it's very important what the decrees, the decision of the Chachamim. Nobody can play with that. As the Torah says in Parashat Shoftim, everything they're going to tell you, you must listen to them. Do not move left or right. And it's such a severe punishment not to listen to the rabbi, way more than what the people think. I've been speaking in the last few weeks in the lectures here about peace in the family, raising children, relationship between husband and wife. And somebody sent me an email today that maybe it's about time. I already know who it is in the crowd. I didn't know until a minute ago. Now I know. I can see from the smiles. But I won't look over there that you won't know who it is and confuse you. Alright, anyway, so somebody sent me an email. I always like to answer what the people wants to know. What about the in-laws? Relationship with the in-laws. We always make the in-laws the last and the least. But really, technically, until one generation ago, not this generation, the previous one, really, there were still many wives that treated their in-laws like their own parents. Today, one of the signs before Mashiach comes is that it's going to be tension in families. Tension. The truth is, it's not really only between the Chatan and the in-laws or the Kala and the in-laws. No. It's tension almost between everyone. Cousins, friends, brothers, all kinds of problems, because people are under tremendous pressure. There's less emunah today. People have almost no emunah, very weak faith. And when the faith is so weak, comes jealousy, comes anger, comes lack of patience. People go crazy. Well, I told you that I recommended a few years ago to people. They asked me when the financial crisis started, what should I invest in? So I told them, invest in anti-depression medicine. They thought I'm joking. A week ago I saw an article that they tripled their business in the last year. Just in the last year, tripled their business. You know why? When people have no HaShem, they're constantly under stress and depression. Only people who learn Torah, they see the lights of HaShem, it takes away all the sicknesses, all the stress, all the agony, all the pain, all the jealousy, all the anger. It's all with emunah. That's what I deserve. That's what HaShem wants. I'm happy with that. Finished. Very simple. I want to tell you something. Let's say you are broke. No money. Your credit card are maxed. You can't afford even a lunch in a bagel store. Yeah, you walk around always with $5 in your pocket. You can't even afford the most simple things that almost everybody can afford. So it makes you very depressed, right? You say, hey, look, I can't find a normal job. How long it's going to be like that? Who's going to marry me? I can never raise children. You think about the future, you want to kill yourself. That's the situation of thousands of people non-stop. But what would happen if Hashem would come to you once a year? That's it, once a year. He comes to you, you see all of a sudden such light, and say, dear Moshe, or dear Miriam, I know you're walking around frustrated and you're upset, but believe me, I only made you poor like this because I love you very much, and trust me, it's good for your soul. That's it, one sentence. How would you feel from that moment? I'm broke, all day, I'm broke, right? What happened? When the Torah said that it's for your own good, you don't believe it. You need Hashem to come and tell you, special CD you need from Shamayim. That's the problem that we have. What's written in the Torah, it's not convincing enough for us. That's the problem. That's where the problems begin. That's when the problem begins. If we would know that everything that Hashem promised to us in the Torah, it's 100% legit, we will never get to a situation of depression or jealousy. Where comes jealousy from? Jealous people that always wish bad for others. They always bitter and frustrated when they see other people can afford and they can't. Where does it come from? No emunah. They have no emunah in Hashem. If you have emunah in Hashem, you have to be jealous with another person. Just imagine if you knew all his problems. You only see from the outside everything fleshy. Somebody like me, in a way I'm lucky, and not, depending how you look at that. In a way I'm lucky because I see all these supposedly successful people, how they come and speak to me about the problems, and then I see it in my own eyes what Chachamim says. I see what Chazal says, that all these people are really, the more they have, the more miserable they are. So I see it in my own eyes, that it's real 100%. You may not have the ability to see it. On the other hand, I feel very bad for them that they're like this. I feel very bad for them. Also, being stingy, it's a mental disease. It's a sickness. This a person that he has a lot of money and is afraid to waste and always worry how much his wife's spending and why did you buy this? And somebody just told me when I was in LA that he has a friend that worth fortune, real estate, buildings, everything. And when he drives him around, he stops by the gas station, so he's the driver. So he goes and he puts gas. So there's regular gas and there's super. The difference is maybe $3-4 a tank. So when he comes back into the car, he says, which gas you put? He says, super. He begins to scream, what? This guy is supposedly broke. He's the driver. He makes $100 a day. When he puts in his own car gas, he puts super. The billionaire, he screams, why you put super? I told you put regular. You understand? So this is it. This is it. This is all sicknesses. One worse than the other. Unbelievable. Today a big tragedy happened in Israel. A whole family had an accident and they all got burned in a car. Father and mother and 3 little kids. When something like this happens, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends us a message, wake up. This is not coincidence, wake up. I don't know who this family are, Jews, non-Jews, because today in Israel, every time you hear an accident, there's a 50% chance it's not even Jewish. You don't really know. This Israel is full of goyim now, full of Arabs, full of Druze, full of Romanians, full of Thailandi, full of Chinese, full of all kinds of goyim that comes to work in Israel, hundreds of thousands. We don't really know. The Russians, 80% of them are goyim anyway, those who came to Israel 15 years ago. So you don't really know anymore. But it doesn't matter. We don't even wish something like this to goyim. It's a horrible tragedy. Either way, we don't know what's the situation, how they got married, who are these kids. Sometimes these kids are mamzerim. There's so many things that can happen here. Well, one thing for sure, that is a serious message from Hashem to each one of us. It's all over the news. You see, the car is going on fire. Show it live. Somebody was filming. The car is still on fire, and they are inside. There's nothing you can do. One more thing they put today on the news in Israel. Thousands of parents stopped sending their kids to elementary school. Chilonim, non-religious. Already they came to the conclusion of what I've been saying already for years, that we will get to that day, that parents will not be able to send their kids to school, to public school. They won't be able to, because it's going to be a life risk. It's going to be a very high chance that you send your kid this month to school and he won't return. Or he will return with a scar, or with stabbed, or with drugs addiction. It would be better off to leave them to be ignorant for the rest of their life at home and stay alive than to be supposedly a little bit educated and dead. And that's the situation in Israel. One teacher was saying, if you stand by the gate of the school 1 hour there's not 1 minute that there is no fights between gangs and people. There's not 1 minute without fighting. You can find the school anytime you come and watch the kids. You cannot find 1 minute without kids punching each other, throwing rocks, and other things. Every school here in America, I believe, they're starting to put metal detector. Where we got here, you send a 10, 12 years old kid to the school, have to check him if he brought a knife. You know, going to teach them how to behave, in the end it's like a whole big gang, the entire school. It got to the point, they say today in the article, that the teachers can care less already. They're not even trying to break the fights. They walk. They see somebody kill one another, they walk. They don't care, they walk by. Even teachers get beaten up by kids almost every day in Israel. Not only that, in Israel, to be a doctor these days, it's a life risk. If you're a doctor in a hospital, every day they attack doctors. Every day. Let's say somebody is a patient and the doctor leaves them 1 hour in a room. You know, doctors, they most of the time disrespect the patients. So everywhere you go, you wait forever, they leave you in a room, they come back when they want. They disrespect the people. And because they disrespect the people, in Israel already, since it's full with all kinds of Amalek, Goyim, all kinds of bad people, the country is full of dirt. So these people don't have patience. If you leave their father one hour in a room, the next thing he takes a knife and go and kill the doctor in the middle of the hospital or break a chair on his head. They passed a law this week. Everyone who will attack a doctor, even by one punch, his punishment cannot be less than 5 years in prison. No matter what was it. He slapped him or something, smacked him, one punch. Minimum 5 years. The judge will not be able to give less than that. When it's between two other people, it can be a month, it can be nothing. You know, it can be a fine. With doctors, because they realize that soon doctors will escape from the hospital. They won't be doctors. You understand what does it mean, a sick society? What's the reasons for all that? That people became worse than animals. They have no Torah. We are getting to the days that people without Torah, you see the real face of society. All this show-off, dressing nice, driving, going to all kinds of parties, with a bow tie, supposedly civilized people, it's all a show. It's maybe good for Purim. What's the real thing that's happening? Corruption, violence, so much problems. Now it's even more urgent than before to take the kids out of public school and put them into yeshiva, even if you don't believe in God. Even if you can swear for your stupidity that God is not around, or He left us alone, or whatever your foolish ideas are, forget about religion. There's no other way. You want your kids to be alive? Not that the yeshiva, everything is perfect. There's nothing to compare. At least you know your sons were going to come home. Over there, you don't even know if he's going to come home. You have no idea what's going on there. Hard to believe. It's nothing better here in New York. So, we live here in America. We are paying Social Security every year when we do our taxes. I think it's 7 or 8% they take away from your income for Social Security. Your employer pays just as much. So it means if you made $1 million a year, the government will receive $160,000 approximately every year from your income between you and your boss to put it aside for you, that when you retire, you're going to be able to collect monthly salary for the rest of your life, right? That's the system. Not that many Americans know that Social Security is in a deficit of one what? Let's see if you guess. $1 trillion. You know what it means? How much is 1 billion? 1,000 times million. $1,000 million. Now times another 1,000. $1 trillion. Just to give you an idea. United States give Israel $2.5 billion a year assistance to the army and control Israel 100%. They make all the decision, where you're going to go, where you're going to build, settlements, no settlements, take the people out of their home. All the decisions. Israel is the puppet. The prime minister, all these people that you see on the news, they're all puppets. Everything they need to do, they need confirmation and approval from the United States. For what? For lousy $2.5 billion. How many times 2.5 billion you have in 1 trillion? 40 times. 40 times. That means 40 years control in a complete country like Israel. It's what the deficit in Social Security. Do you really think that one day we're going to be able to get from the money? They're going to be bankrupt faster than what we can think. Which means we're going to have millions. We're going to have millions of people in America get to such an age and don't have money what to eat. That's the future here. Everywhere you look today, finally, the situation is becoming worse by the minute. And the Gemara already say, "En lanu al mi lismoch." We have nobody to count on. Ela al Avinu shebashamayim. HaShem is preparing the world to a situation that every individual will realize clearly, I have nobody to trust but HaShem. Nobody, Jews, non-Jews, everybody will realize, HaShem, it's me and you. It's 100% me and you. One guy sent me today an email that he makes a little money, it's barely paying for his expenses, but he has no doubt that HaShem will provide. You understand? A guy already got to that point. But how he got to that point? From all the lectures. He got to it. The question is, we, the children of HaShem, did we get to it? Or are we still running after bribing people, begging them for help, for job? Every day you hear on the news another corrupted religious person. This Baba, that Baba, he promised me that my daughter will have a kid, she's barren, I gave him $100,000, where is the kids? The kids never came. Why they behave like this? Because even they don't have emunah in Hashem. Someone has emunah in Hashem, behaves like this? If you know Hashem, if Hashem told you have an ATM in your home, just take as much as you want. As much as you want. Don't worry about money, ever. Whatever you want, just take out. Press the button, 10,000, it comes out. Would you go to steal? Would you go to steal? No. Would you go to cheat people for money? No. Would you promise false promises to people? Would you be violent when it comes to money? Would you speak Lashon Hara about other successful people when it comes to money? No. Why? I have as much as I want. So what do you see here? The reasons for all of that we worry that we won't have. Because we worry, because we don't have emunah in Hashem, it makes us corrupted people. At work, you have a business, selling refurbished merchandise to the customer and telling them it's brand new. Rabbi, it's fine. It's going. Wow, what's the big deal? Believe me, they don't even know the difference. My friend, refurbished is 1/3 of a price from brand new. There's a reason for it. All these tricks. Everywhere you go, you sell food. It's already a week old. You keep mixing it, putting spray, painting it, whatever. Why? Is it fresh from today? Yeah, sure, we just finished making it. All these tricks, all these lies. You know, today you need a little minor surgery. Minor surgery. Let's see something in the stomach, I don't know. They just have to do something. They put you in anesthesia, 1 hour. You don't even know what's going on. They maybe steal organs from your body. They steal. The doctors all over the world steal parts from people's body. No idea. Not only when they're alive they steal. They steal a kidney, right away they take it to some kind of refrigerator in a hospital, they lock it over there, they sell it for $70,000, $80,000, $100,000, you don't even know. You may went to a regular procedure, now you have 1 kidney and you don't know even. You don't understand what's going on, how to believe. And when the people died, in Judaism, autopsy, it's against the law. The religious people don't let anybody touch the dead bodies. Sometimes, there was one case in Israel, there was a non-religious woman, anti-religion woman, and when she died, the police came and wanted to do an autopsy to see the cause of the death. And all of a sudden, in less than a minute, 500 religious black hats came. They surrounded the body. They demonstrate against the police. The police came. They don't let the police get to the body. The police shoot. They're starting to throw rocks. A big war zone for an hour. The police surrender. Police knew, if we want really the body, we're going to have to kill 10 people here. So they got an order, leave them alone. So they grabbed the body and they hid the body. The police don't know where the body is, so they have to beg them now to return the body. So they're in negotiation. We will only return the body if you promise, you sign that we bury the body right away and you don't touch it. The police surrendered, and they did. So they came to Rav Chaim Kanievsky. They asked him, what was the merit of that woman? What was the merit of that woman if she's anti-religion? She's not religious, that so many religious people came and protected her body and risked their life for her. So he told them that he himself was curious, and he checked. And he found out that this woman is a Holocaust survivor, that when in the Holocaust where she was, when she saw dead bodies of Jews, she took a shovel. She was a young lady. She was digging graves and burying people that she didn't know who they are. She saw body, she didn't leave them. Well, most Jews couldn't. What can they do? They see hundreds of bodies all the time. But she didn't. She took shovel if she could. She digged holes and she was burying bodies. Everybody knew her in a camp that she's burying bodies. Everything in life is measure for measure. Everything. What happened here? HaShem said, you cared about the respect of the dead. Nobody will violate the dignity and the respect of your body. Measure for measure. Even if it's 50 years later. Everything is taken into consideration. Everything. The Torah says that, there was actually a story, I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago there was a restaurant in Israel that the Arabs blew up. It was Sbarro restaurant. Sbarro restaurant. So there was a very interesting story that happened that day. There was a huge line to pay in a register. And there was one Jew standing on line, and then an American Jew was in a rush. And he was like moving, nervous, So the other guy saw that he's very nervous. He said, are you in a rush? You can go in front of me. I said, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm really in a rush. So the guy went in, the American guy, he paid. As he came out of the restaurant exploded. So everybody there was flying, bodies all over. And what happened is that, of course, after the bomb finished, he ran inside to look for that guy because he felt horrible. This guy who gave me his turn, because of me, maybe he died. He felt very bad. But in the end, he saw that he didn't die. He's just injured. Badly, but injured. Atzala is coming. They take all the bodies, all the wounded people. So obviously, he asked them, which hospital are you taking him to? So they told him, we take him here somewhere in Hadassah, in Yerushalayim. So he went right away after a few hours to the hospital to visit him. So as he went to visit him, he saw that he's a few days in hospital, surgeries. Okay, so he's out of risk now. That's it. He's not going to die, but he still needs a lot of treatment. After a few months, when this American Jew in the meantime returned back to New York, after a few months, obviously they became friendly because I was coming to visit him every day. I feel sorry, you gave me your turn. So after a few months, he gets a phone call in New York. Hello, how are you? Yes. I wanted to tell you that I'm coming to New York for a special procedure in a hospital. I have a surgery there, and they're sending me to New York, to America, and I'm going to come to America in that date. So the rich guy, this American businessman, he said, oh, I'm glad, at least I can get something back to you. So what time is your flight? He told him like 8 in the morning, something like that. I'm getting there in the morning. So he said, I myself will come to pick you up from the airport. So he said, no, don't bother, we'll manage, we can get a ride. He said, no, it's my honor, I have to come and get you from the airport, don't tell me no. They're arguing, in the end he said, I'm coming, it doesn't matter, I'll be there. That morning, he went there and he picked them up. As he picked them up, hello, nice to see you again, and they're driving in a car, they're listening to the news. The news just came. The Twin Towers were just bombs. And this guy is holding his head, I can't believe it. My office is in a 101st floor. He went to pick him up from the airport. Thanks to that, his life got saved. So this guy, this Israeli Jew, saved his life twice, not once. One time in the restaurant, he gave him his turn. And now, when he came to New York, he didn't want, but he insisted to come and pick him up while he was picking him up. If not, he would be in the office, dead. All the people from the 80th floor and higher, they all died. You understand what's going on here? In the end, he wanted to come and be grateful. HaShem said, oh, very good. He was a very wealthy person, important, who was to come to be a taxi driver to pick him up. But he felt the gratitude. HaShem said, you know what? If you do what you do, I'll make sure that your life going to get saved again. You know, one time, the more you show HaShem that you're serious, the more help you get. That's how it goes. After a certain period of time, when HaShem see a person is 100% serious, like Avraham Avinu, not right away HaShem provided for him, not right away he spoke to him like father to son, no. One test, another test, another test. After 10 different tests, that's when HaShem came and told him, now I know that you're fearful from HaShem, and you're tzaddik, and I'm blessing you, and I'm making a covenant with you, and I swear to you and your children will benefit. A list of blessings, but it wasn't so easy. Avraham proved himself more than we can imagine. And now listen to this. One time we had in yeshiva a guy. His name is Yitzchak. This Yitzchak used to be an investigator in the military police in Israel. He's a very pedantic person. You know what pedantic is? He's like a real yeke. Every little thing he pays attention. If you tell him 6:15, I meet you on the street, 6:10 he's already standing. He'll never be late. If he's late, you know, chas v'shalom, a tragedy happened. There's no chance that he's going to be late. Or word is a word, promise is a promise. So, you know, one of these people with good values. So one time, I was giving a lecture in Brooklyn, and I get a phone call from him, just, in the evening time. Are you in Brooklyn by any chance today? I say, yeah, actually I am. He say, can I get a ride back with you to Monsey? Because maybe I'll miss the last bus. Like this, it's going to be... I say, yeah, of course. So I picked him up around 12 o'clock. And we're driving back to Monsey. As we drive back, he tells me, in a few days I'm leaving the yeshiva and I'm going back to Israel. So I told him, why are you leaving the yeshiva? You're elevating yourself so well. In a few months that you're in yeshiva, you became in such a high level. It's a shame. Go and start all over. You don't know what to expect over there. He said, I don't really want. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I want. But I don't have a choice. Why? My visa expires. And I'm not going to stay here illegal. I want to one day be able to come back here. So I have to leave. So since I have to leave, I'm going to leave. I'll go to yeshiva. So I told him, you worry about this? What do you worry about it being illegal? It's all from HaShem. If HaShem wants you to come in, you come in. If He doesn't want you to come in, even with a green card, you don't come in. What? Don't worry about it. I have a friend for 18 years. He's coming in and out. We're not legal here. He has a family here, a business. He goes, he comes back. They look at his passport, boom, they stamp. If HaShem wants you to come in, don't worry. No, I can't take that risk. Obviously, I'm speaking to the wrong guy. He's like this. Then I remembered that about maybe 2 months before that night, I was in a different place in Brooklyn, and one girl used to come to my lecture. In the meantime, she goes back to Israel every few months and come back. And she's not legal. She's here 4 years already. So I asked her, how are you going back and forth? If you don't have papers, She said, I found a very clever trick. I have a way, guarantee I'm coming in. She has a trick with the tickets. She found something. They don't know. The system here, they don't know about it. Obviously, it's very interesting because this girl obviously coming in and out. So I'm telling him how she comes in. I'm telling him, hey, she comes in. I'll teach you the same trick. You can go back to Israel and come right back. Same way. So he's listening. What do you think? They don't know that trick. It doesn't make sense. As we arguing, guess what happened? I get a phone call, 1 o'clock at night already. Anonymous. 1 o'clock, if somebody call me, it has to be important. And pick up the phone, it's a call from Israel. They're 7 hours ahead. It's 8 o'clock in the morning there. Guess who's on the line?
The girl.
This girl, Moran. The girl that told me the trick. For months. Since that time that she told me, I don't know where she is. It's not the girl that calls every week or something. All of a sudden, from Israel, she's calling. I didn't even know she's in Israel. She calls me up. I say, hi, where are you? She said, I'm in Israel. So you're not going to believe, I'm just telling this guy Yitzchak about your trick that you told me how to enter the airport here. And he's not so convinced 100%, and now you're calling. Please tell him. So he tell me, no, you called there. I said, no, what call there? I've been talking to you. What call there? The phone rang. So he's talking to her. That's it. He said, you know what? That's a sign Mishamayim. I can't argue. Told him, don't you see? Come on. Why Hashem made such a nest for him? Wait and see, because he's such a tzaddik, such a serious Baal Tshuva. For you, Hashem say, I'm going to start moving things around. Not everybody gets such a privilege. This is only the beginning of the story. As he decided to stay here, his parents found out that he's not coming. They were already sure to see him in a week. So they decided to come to New York to visit him. So when they came to New York, he brought them to me. Very nice parents he has, wonderful people. They lived in Israel, in Adar Yosef, in a nice neighborhood in north of Tel Aviv there. So they came here. So as soon as they came to my house, they saw that there's one girl staying by my house for 2 weeks. This girl from Chicago. She's Baalat Tshuva, Israeli-American, more American than Israeli. And she came, they asked us if we can have a place for her to stay for 2 weeks. Because she comes here for 2 weeks in New York. If she can stay for 2 weeks in my house. I said, no problem, of course, she can stay. As soon as this Yitzchak's father came, first thing he tells me, what do you think about this girl for Yitzchak? The Israelis don't waste time, 5 minutes is in my house, he saw her in the kitchen. What do you think about this girl for Yitzchak? I said, it's actually a good idea. He said, come on, let's move things. We are here for 2-3 weeks. I want to make l'chaim. Believe it or not, a week later, they already started to go out. We invited him, he came, all of a sudden, the last day before they leave, we made an engagement party. They got married. They moved to Israel finally, and they live in Israel now. Everything, Hashem makes, if she wouldn't call this girl, probably it wouldn't even be a marriage. He will go back to Israel, end of story. His parents wouldn't come. Everything is a plan. Everything is a plan. And everything that happens to us right now, it's a beginning of a plan. We don't know how long it's going to be. 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, 20 years. It can be 200 years. The plan can be 200 years. It can continue to the next life in a different body. Always people complaining about what's happening, not knowing. What are you crying? Maybe it's good. Maybe it's good. So as I started to say, the last few weeks we spoke about the relationship in a house, but we have something that we have to still cover. Once a person gets married, it's true that the Torah says, "Ve'azav et aviv ve'ishto, ve'azav et aviv ve'imo ve'davak be'ishto." He is leaving his parents, and now he's sticked with his wife together. And obviously the wife becomes the most important thing, the house, the wife, the children. It's very important. However, that doesn't mean that your parents doesn't exist anymore. Or the in-laws do not exist. Actually, as a matter of fact, first of all, it's big Kiddush Hashem. When you give respect to them, like you give respect to your parents. Second, you have to be very clever not to create ever an argument. Some in-laws are annoying. They push their nose to intimate conversation, to private things. They check the closet. I had a case once in Brooklyn. A couple got married. Looks like a couple from the magazines. You know these couples? Beautiful wedding, religious, Baalei Tshuva, everything looks perfect. A few months later, I get a phone call from the guy. That's it, I had it. Tomorrow morning, we already have a date to the Rabbanut, we're getting divorced. I say, what? Just got married, divorced? He say, yeah, you have no idea what Gehenom I have from these in-laws. You have no idea what's going on here. From the minute we got married, they constantly drilling into her head to leave me, and already, actually it was more than 6 months because she already just had a recent baby. So about a year later, so to take the baby away, the last Shabbat she was with the baby by them, they keep telling her to leave me. I said, why? He said, because they're telling her that your husband is stingy. I said, well, why they got to this conclusion? Because you say every time they come, they check the closets. They open the closet, they see if the closet is empty, what kind of husband you have, why you don't have enough food in the house, why the refrigerator is not full. So one time her car broke. So the car was standing there for 2-3 days. He didn't have time to take it to fix it. He has his own car. He goes to work in the morning. So because the car was there for 3 days and she didn't have a car, so they starting to tell her, you see, he doesn't even care about you. What foolish parents. What are you trying to do to ruin your daughter's life? They want to get her back with a baby to their house that now she's going to stay by them for the next 20 years. I told him, wait, don't do anything. I'm going to come tonight to your house. It was late at night. I went there, we sat for 2 hours, we talking, we made agreements. And the girl promised, because they have no direction. They don't know what you should do, what you shouldn't do, who comes first, her father, her husband. I started to tell her, listen, your husband, it's top priority right now, before your parents. Even if you owe a lot to your parents, this is the way HaShem said. HaShem said, once you get married, that's it. After that, HaShem helped. They moved out of New York for a while, for more than 2-3 years, and everything stabilized in their marriage until they came back. They lost their job over there, and they came back to New York. The problem started again. So it's up to the couple, first of all, if they want to avoid all the problems from the in-laws. I tell you what is the most common mistakes that husbands and wife is doing in their marriage that create problems with the in-laws. What is it? Every fight they have, the wife goes to her parents, to the mother, and tell them about what my husband just did to me last night. He did this, he broke a glass, he started to curse, he took this, he said, I'm not going to get a penny, he took away my credit card, all kinds of things. What happened the next day? The next day they make peace. They hug, they kiss, I apologize, I'm sorry, everything is back to normal. But the parents already set their mind. This guy is a Nazi. I got to get rid of him. That's it. There's no way to correct the mistake. Once you involve them with what's going on in your life, don't expect them to love your husband and don't expect them to love your wife. The mistake is done. So rule number 1 in marriage, even no matter what happened, you never get the parents involved. You have a problem, you go to the rabbi, you go to somebody that you trust to come to make peace in the family. Never to get the parents involved. How is your husband? Great. Fantastic. Couldn't ask for better. Even though just last night he destroyed you, it's better not to get them involved. Why? Later you're going to have such pressure from them, you're not going to be able to handle it. And believe me, sometimes it becomes even worse because they sponsor. They give the money. So now they see that you don't listen to them, they begin to cut you off. We're not going to help. Why should we give you money? Why should we buy you the house? If you have such a monster husband, tomorrow we're going to have to fight with him in court. No, the only way we're going to help if you come back home with the kids, I'm going to hire a lawyer. I see it all the time. Never get them involved. Never. Also, if you see that the parents are not good people, and they instigate, and they make problems, or they have dirty mouths, move away very far from them. Don't live in a place that they come and visit. Don't stay in a neighborhood and have fights with them. Move far away from them. They're a place that they won't be able to come and visit. Overseas, to the other side of the United States, to a place that you can live quiet life. Why? If you're going to live in the same neighborhood and they come every day, yes, it's convenient, but 2 years later you are divorced. That's what Chazal say. Chazal say for different reasons that it's impossible to respect them. Impossible, like the Torah requires. So Chazal say a smart person, he lives so far that he doesn't have a demand from him because he's far away from his parents, but if he's near them, he has to be their servant, which is a very big problem. So, we have to keep those things in the house. The more people you tell, the more the problems grow. You have to know it. It's not so simple. Then, we have to know one more thing. We say it every day in the tefillah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, קונה הקור, we praise Hashem, the great, the one and only one, the greatest. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu answer every day, if I'm so gadol and gibor and nora, I'm so great, why are you always afraid what's going to be tomorrow? If you praise me so much, I'm great and I'm a hero and I control everything, why, when I look at you, I see that you're always scared? What are we going to eat tomorrow? Will I find a job? I don't have health insurance. What's going to be next month? They expire. We cannot afford. All these problems all the time. Trust me. Elevate your trust. You see how things become easier. Thanks to the trust, Hashem gives us things that we don't deserve. Remember, bonus. If you elevate your trust in Hashem, even if you don't deserve, He gives it to you just for the trust. This is something that it's mamash like a magic. And we have to remember it. Also, the fact that we suffer, it's not necessarily a bad indication. Why? Because we review the history. Every Jewish hero, always, yeah, you can move, yeah. Always, every Jewish hero, always suffered in the entire life that they had. Starting Adam, from the beginning of his life, he suffered 130 years fasting, tshuva for the sin. 130 years. His son was a murderer. His other son got killed. Look at his life, Adam. He had the ideal life, and a second later, after he ate from the tree, everything became a nightmare. Then Noach, his son Seresoto, problems, 120 years he was a construction worker, building an ark. In the end, all the people, all his friends, all the people in his generation, they all got killed. He started the whole world from nothing. He was in the ark for so many days, taking care of the animals, mamash like a slave in a zoo. That was the life of Noach. Nothing great. But Noach is nothing compared to Avraham, Yitzchak and Yaakov. Avraham, look at his life. Don't have kids until 99 years old. There's hunger here. He has to move to Egypt. They take away his wife. He has Ishmael. Big problems. Look at Yaakov Avinu. They rape his daughter Dinah. 17 years he doesn't see his loved son. Hunger, he has to leave. He has to go to Egypt. So much problems, one after the other, all his life. He works 7 years for Rachel, they give him Leah. He works another 7 years. There's problems all his life. He comes in front of Paro, he's 127 years old, he complains, my life was miserable. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets angry at him. He said, not only that the righteous people are going to get life of eternity full of pleasure after they die, they want to enjoy this temporary life also. That was the answer of Hashem to Yaakov complaints. So once with this, they done, this is Yaakov. David HaMelech. Nobody ever suffered more than King David. David HaMelech. Such life of suffering, any person you take besides Eov. But Eov had great life until the moment that the Satan came to him. David HaMelech, from the moment he came to the world, everybody pointed at him as Mamzer. illegitimate son. Rumors on the street, look at this mamzer. They always send him to the mountains with the sheep. He wasn't involved with anything. They hide him. They hid him, the family. Even when Shmuel came to make him the king, he wasn't home. All his brothers standing on lines, he wants to spill the oil on their head. It doesn't come out. He asked him, do you have another son? He doesn't say, yeah, sure, he's there. No, it has to be one of these. He's embarrassed to say. His son rebelled against him, took his wives away. His shidduch went to Uriah Hitti. But Sheva was his, Uriah Hitti took her. Why? Because he made one mistake once he killed Goliath. He said, somebody who will open the knot will get the best Jewish female, the best shidduch. HaShem said, yeah, your shidduch goes to him, to this Uriah Hitti. He was running away, hiding in caves. Shaul runs after him, wants to kill him. Everywhere he's hiding. Live in a fear. What kind of life? Read Tehillim, you see how much he suffered in his life. Enemies here, enemies there. 70 years of life full of misery. Bottom line, a legendary figure in history. The Muslims admire him. Christians admire him. Chinese admire him. Chinese read Tehillim. Chinese, yeah. One guy went to a gym, he saw a Chinese woman sitting reading Tehillim in English. He told her, what, you're reading this? Psalms, right? Tehillim in English? She said, yeah, well, it's great things, praising God. Interesting. So, Jews, all three main religions, David HaMelech, legendary in history, forever, in the highest level. Why HaShem made him suffer so much? The Torah says, the more I love you, the more I punch you. Why? If I won't punch you, you get off the way. Every once in a while, a smack. Hey, don't move from the right direction. If you love your son, sometimes there's time to smack. You give him everything he wants. Don't be surprised, 18 years old, you bring drugs home and guns. You made him like this. The more you spoiled him, the more you pay the price. When we went to the desert, what did HaShem say about the Jewish nation? Listen to this. It says, Zacharti la chesed ne'uraich, lechtech acharai bamidbar. I remember you, the mercy of your teenage days, following me, the days of the past, following me in the desert. Chazal ask, why in the desert? Following me in the desert. It should be following me to the desert. From Egypt, crossing the ocean, to the desert. What does it mean, following me in the desert? First to the desert. So Chazal says, they really should have got the reward, agreeing to leave their homes and go to the desert. For that, they should get the reward. Once they're in the desert, what reward they deserve? They're already there. They're already there, that's it. Now, for every day they're over there, they have to get a reward? The answer is, even when a Jew is in a situation that he has no choice, there's nothing he can do. You're stuck here. You didn't choose it, so you don't really deserve reward. You got stuck here. Because of the suffering, HaShem pays you the reward. This is very interesting. For every day in the desert, HaShem paid them the reward for being there, even though they have no choice. They could not escape back to Egypt. It was too late already. There's nothing they can do. They should really get the reward agreeing going to the desert. Once they're there, that's it. No, it's the same thing like a person went overseas. Let's say he had enough money to pay for a one-way ticket. Once he got there, he made a big mistake. Wow, it's a hell over here. Once he's there, what reward he deserved? He made that choice. He went there, finished. It's not up to him anymore. He's not choosing to be there. He has no choice. He doesn't have money to return. The actual suffering over there, count 100%. This is the mercy of HaShem. The mercy of HaShem. We read in this last parasha, the parasha starts קחו לי תרומה. תרומה. תרומה means donation. The language קחו, it's take. Take donations to me. Take. Not give. Why not give? So the Torah explained, because when a person gives to somebody else donation, he really receives donation. How he receives? Everything you gave. Reuven gave Shimon donation. What does he think? I made a favor to him. I just gave him $100. I helped him to buy food. Finished. Not true. The 100 you gave him, it's like wiring it to your Olam Haba. He just wired it. It really didn't go to him. It went to yourself. The difference is that if you keep it in your pocket, when you die, it's gone. You don't have it. Once you give it, it was wired to your Olam Haba and will be translated to spiritual reward, which is the best reward. Everything a person gives is actually taking. That's why it starts like this. Then one more thing in the parasha, it says, Ve'asu li mishkan, create for me a temporary Beit HaMikdash, Ve'shachanti betocham, and I would live among them. It should have said, and I would live in it. Make me a temple, that I should live in it, that my spirit should come there. But that's not the language. It says that I should be in the hearts of every Jew. Once the Mishkan is here, and the days of the Beit HaMikdash, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in the heart of every Jew. This is the Sgula of this. That's why it says, V'shachanti betocham, that a person has to clean his heart for Hashem to come there. Once Hashem is there, everything else becomes a lot easier. He's speaking about tzedakah. There's one Jew in Yerushalayim, his name is Mr. Vaknin, Moroccan Jew, and he has a beautiful tradition. Every Thursday night, he teaches grandchildren the parasha of the Shabbat. Thursday night, he invites all his grandchildren, and they all come to learn the parasha. And that Thursday afternoon, his wife told him, why are you going to do it tonight? Can you go to the market to buy me some groceries? Because we don't have anything and I cannot start cooking for Shabbat. I want you to go and buy everything tonight and tell the grandchildren to come tomorrow. To come 3 hours before Shabbat, you teach them the thing. He said, no, we've been doing it for months on Thursday night. The Torah comes first. He said, but I cannot start cooking Friday. Short day, I won't be able to. He said, I don't care, we eat very little. Cook just a little bit and it's enough. But tonight we're making the shiur. So all the grandchildren came, he teach them the parasha. 11 o'clock they all started to leave. Then, about 11:20, 11:30, somebody knocks on the door. So he thought one of the kids forgot something. So in Israel nobody asks, today maybe it's different, but he opens right away the door, 2 guys with a gun, a mask on their face, they push him inside, give us all your money, quick, with guns. Give us all your money, give us all your money. So he goes like this, what? Why are you coming to me? I don't understand. Why you come to me? We are very poor. He say, yeah, everybody say that. Quick, give us the money or I shoot. So he said to them, wait, open the closets. We don't have money to buy food for Shabbat. Shabbat is tomorrow. I don't have anything in the house. Open the fridge, it's empty. Open the closets, it's all empty. Open everything. If you find one thing, then you see. I don't have money for Shabbat. So the guy said to us, open the closets. He opened all the closets, everything empty. He said, open the fridge. He opened the fridge empty. You see? You coming to steal from me? I'm thinking, how am I going to buy things, food for Shabbat? So the robber told his friend, get 100 shekel out of your pocket, quick. He takes 100 shekel, say, Grandpa, here, this is for Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. They come to steal and then I give him tzedakah. You understand? Why? Afilu ganav, even a thief has a Jewish heart sometimes. You don't have to show him. There was another thing, one Hasid Gur, he bought a brand new car. He comes Friday with the car home, everybody from the neighbors all come to give their ayin hara. They all come. So finally, they put the car over there. All of a sudden, he comes out of shul Friday night. He walk by, you see the car is not there. He looks around. You know, sometimes when you're not sure where you park your car, you think somebody stole it. You look here, you look there. I parked it here. So, oh, somebody stole the car. Now it's Shabbat. He cannot call the police. What can he do? So all night he's eating his heart. Friday night he sits home. He says, "You can't believe it. I just bought a car. Not a few hours, and somebody already stole it." Friday morning, Shabbat morning, he gets up. He comes to the shul. He walks by the street. He sees the car is back there. So what's going on here? I'm losing my mind. Last night it wasn't here. Now the car is back here. I can't believe this. He's dying to know what's going on now. Motzei Shabbat, right away he runs to the car. He opens the car. He sees a note on the wheel. Piece of paper. "You are a lucky Jew. I stole your car last night. And you have a very good tape against you should not steal inside the car." While I was driving away, as soon as I started the car, the tape was playing. And this rabbi is really scary. So I apologize for the inconvenience. He brought back the car. When a thief has the heart of a Jew, it just depends. You know, there's one criminal that was a world expert in stealing cars in Israel. Every day steal cars. 1, 2, 3. It takes him 60 seconds to break into the car and steal it. That's how professional they became. Every time he gets arrested, he's going to jail for a few months. They release him. Then another year, they release him. This is his life. One time, as he stole a car, after he got already probation and all this, he steals the car. And he knows, if this time I'm going to get caught, I'm finished. That's it. The judge will send me for more than 10 years in prison. As he steals the car, all of a sudden he looks back, he sees a baby was forgotten in a back seat. In the heat of Israel, you see the baby is blue, red, sweating. It's a very hot day. Now what am I going to do? If I'm going to take this baby, they know I stole the car. 10 years in prison they'll give me. So he has this dilemma. What should I do? Wow, how can I let the baby die? Right away, he called up 911. He called the police. He said, "There's a car here with a baby." He parked the car in this street. Somebody forgot the baby here. Police came all over. Right away, the ambulance came. They treat the baby. They saved the life of the baby. They gave him oxygen, everything. Once the baby came out of risk, then the chief of the police already knows him by heart. He investigated him so many times. So he goes like this. He comes near him, that nobody looks. He says, "I'm giving you 10 seconds to disappear before I'm going to handcuff you." Quickly. Quick run away, because another 10 seconds, everybody comes, they see you, I'm going to have to put handcuffs on you. So they let him run away. So the policeman saw what he did. He knew that I'm putting handcuffs on him, he's finished 10 years in prison. But since he called up the police for the life of a baby, pretend he didn't see him. Then he became very religious, that thief. And they invited him in a bar mitzvah of that boy. And that boy also was religious. So one of the Rabbanim in Yerushalayim told him, "You see, he saved a soul, and now he's religious, and thanks to him you became religious." So they said in the bar mitzvah of that baby, this is the first baby in history that in the first week of his life he already made Jews religious. Because after what happened to him, he woke up. You know, Purim is coming this Shabbat. Thursday, it's a fast day. The fast should have been on Shabbat, but we don't fast on Shabbat. So they make the fast of Ta'anit Esther on Thursday. Usually by the end of the fast, we begin to read the Megillah right after. But since it's not the original day, the Megillah will be Saturday night. Purim has few mitzvot for men and for women. First, to hear the Megillah twice, once at night, one in the morning, which means Saturday night, Sunday morning in the shul, to hear the Megillah. Another mitzvah is to give 2 kinds of food, between man to a man, between woman to a woman. So if you and your wife wants to give mishloach manot, you give 2 kinds of food, from you to one of your enemies, not to your friends. It's better to somebody who doesn't like you so much. Because like this, you do 2 mitzvot. One, you give him shloach manot. Second, from after you give somebody something, right away he stop hating you. Yeah? Try it next time. Try it. Next time when you see your enemy seeing you in a wedding or in a bus or something, run to him. How are you, Moshe? How are you doing? Long time no see. He wants to kill you in the first second. But after he's so nice to him, right away all his ego goes down. The hatred is history. That's how it is. Or you give him something, you give something, it's over. Giving, creating love. That's what love is, to give. So what happened? So you have to give from man to man, from women to women. Okay, no problem. Then you have mitzvah of giving money to the poor people. Matanot la'evyonim. The more the better. That's why in Purim it's the biggest charity day of the year in a Jewish calendar. You're going to see all the wealthy people, their house is open, there's hundreds of people standing online. All day they give out money. They pretend it in months in advance. Because Purim is the day to give. In the last 2 years, people are broke, most of them, they cannot give as they used to give, but still, they try to make it as much as they can. Also, one more mitzvah is to make a meal on Purim day. That's why we don't go to work. This year it's easy, it's Sunday, most Jews don't work anyway. But even if it was Monday, Tuesday, whatever it was, to make a meal with meat, with wine, as mitzvah to drink a lot of wine. But not like some Jews think, I'm going to be so drunk, I'm going to crawl on the floor until he vomits, and they take him to the hospital. This is big Chilul Hashem. Chilul Hashem is the worst sin in Judaism, the worst. Somebody who makes Chilul Hashem goes to the 7th place in hell, the 7th section, and never comes out of there for this sin, Chilul Hashem. It's not a joke. That's why to make a mitzvah of drinking a little wine and being in a good mood, and in the end ended up in a hospital or walking in the street like crazy and screaming all kinds of stupid things, it's not a mitzvah. So it's enough that you feel that you're in a good mood. That's good enough. Don't go further. Make sure you don't become drunk and make Chilul Hashem and vomit and all these things that we see around. Also, I had a Rav that used to teach Gemara in yeshiva. It was like an ocean of knowledge, ocean. Anything he said, he knows right away. So one time in Purim, he drank, he was in a very good mood. Usually he's very, very humble, very humble. You never know, he walks with a bag, he puts headphones, and even when he walks in the street, he doesn't drive, so he always walks, he listens to Divrei Torah, he has tapes, a primitive Walkman like this. He doesn't know what CDs are or MP3. So he has a cassette. He put cassette, Walkman, and he walks. He walks half an hour. He walks with a bag full of books. That's his life. From the house to the yeshiva, he goes to daven, lunch break. Like this all his life. I used to drive him for a year in my car. One time he was crossing on a sidewalk. I came in front of him. I blocked the way. I said, Kvod Harav, come, I'll give you a ride. It took him a few seconds to recognize me. So I said, you didn't recognize the car? He said, no, I never looked at the car. 1 year I'm taking him in the car. He didn't even see the car. He's in a different world. So anyway, and Puri, he was a little bit, it started to get a little drunk. So we came in. So he's Ashkenazi. So he started to say, I love these Faradim people. They give so much respect to the rabbis. They kiss their hand. They give respect. He's a little bit drunk. Then he looks at somebody and says, you say any pasuk you want from the Bible, any verse, and I will give you 2 hours lecture on it. So one guy was there, was tricky. He gave him the hardest pasuk in the Tanakh. Nobody knows it. I trust me, I don't know where he got that pasuk from. He started to shoot and shoot. He's talking. People coming in and out all day, and he continued to talk non-stop. But he only did it because he was a little bit, drunk. In a normal day, he would never say such a thing. You tell me anything you want, I will give you 2 hours lecture on it. But that's it. Not more than that. You get to that point, Not more than that. So we know now the mitzvot of Purim. Mishloach manot, giving two kinds of food. It's better not to give homemade food, because people don't know who cook it, what kashrut it has, kemach yashan, no kemach yashan, chalav Israel, no chalav Israel. There's a lot of questions. Who cook it? Which wife? She's makpid, she's not makpid. Maybe she got it from somebody and she passed it away. Just get things that are with hechsher on them. If you get it from the grocery, I don't know, cake. So people knows what kashrut it has. That's it. That's the easiest way. Two, don't give tons of candies, all these chemicals that they sell in the food. Just better two healthy things, like a little bottle of wine and I don't know, a cake or cookies, whatever you give, finished. And money to the poor people, better if it's poor people who learn Torah. It's always better for you, because you benefit more from your tzedakah. For poor people who learn Torah, or for poor people who goes to the casino, you choose who you want to give. Give the poor guy who goes to the casino, what mitzvah you had? You give it to a guy who go and buy a book for $20 and learn for 2 months with your $15, $20. It's a much bigger mitzvah, right? And the meal, it's good to invite some guests for Sunday, make a meal around 12, 1 in the afternoon, with wines, with guests. Enjoy Divrei Torah. That's the holiday of Purim. The Purim, it was a decree to kill all the Jews in 127 countries. Even Hitler didn't get to all the countries where the Jews were. If Hitler would finish his job, he would kill all the Ashkenazi Jews in Europe, because he had control in Ashkenaz. He would kill some Jews he will kill the Jews in Greece. He will kill some of the Jews in Libya and in those areas, but that's it. He didn't get to Syria yet. He didn't get to Egypt yet. He didn't get to Iran or to Iraq, to those countries where the Jews, or to Yemen. He didn't get. It would take him years to get there. But Ahasuerus owned 127 countries. He was the king in 127 countries. He doesn't need to go into a war and occupy them. They're already occupied. They paid him taxes. In every country he has his own people running the show. And Haman was the treasury. Haman was richer than Ahasuerus. Haman. And you know the story of Haman. Everybody bowed down to him. Mordechai doesn't want to bow down to him. That's how it starts. And then actually it's already signed, Betabat HaMelech, in the Megillah. Every time it says HaMelech Ahasuerus, it refers to the king Ahasuerus. But every time you just say HaMelech, the king, without the name Ahasuerus, it talks about HaShem. That's the secret of it. So when he says, V'nachtomu betabat HaMelech, it was signed in a stamp of the king, means the king of HaShem. And it was 100% decree. For what? What was the decree? To kill all the Jews in the world. All of them. What? To kill them for what? That they participate in a party. Which party? The party of Ahasuerus. What happened in that party? First of all, it was 180 days. A show. From morning to night, they have booths, and they show all the treasuries that they have. Treasuries of Bet HaMikdash, treasuries here, pictures, arts, gold, silver, tons of wine, tons of food, and the Jews have their own section. Glad kosher with ashgacha. Glad kosher. So the Jews were in their own department. Just because of the Chilul Hashem, that Jews went to a party of such a goy, with what's going on over there, Hashem decided that all the Jews are finished. And this was not Jews like today here. All the Jews were all religious. Religious Jews, everybody. How do I know? How do I know that all the Jews at that time were religious? All had beards, yarmulke, they all kept Shabbat, they all went to yeshiva, everybody. How do I know? When Haman came to Ahasuerus to convince him to destroy all the Jews, what was his words? Do you remember? What did Haman say to Ahasuerus? He said to him, there is a nation that is very strange. Their religion is different than all other religions. Their clothes are different than all the other Gentiles. Their language is different. Their names is different. Everything about them is different. If Haman would come to Ahasuerus in this generation Could he tell him the Jews are strange? They are different than all the other religions? No, because all Jews are not religious. They're like goyim. What can he say? Every Jew you see on the street is like a goy. Tattoos, muscles, earrings, names of goyim, goes to public school. I told you the story about the public school, no? I tell this story, people are shocked. In Israel, they gave an aliyah la Torah for an old man. Didn't I tell you that story? 83 years old. When the old man went up to the Torah, he started to say the bracha, Baruchu et HaShem HaMvorach, he started to cry. Just like that. Begin to cry. So everybody comes, they don't, maybe his wife died, they don't know what happened to him. What happened? You okay? So yeah, I'm okay. I just remember the curse that one rabbi gave my father 70 years ago when I was bar mitzvah. He said, what curse, God? What happened? Tell us. So when I had my bar mitzvah, it was the first time my father took me to a shul. And when I went there was one rabbi, his name is Rabbi Chaim Ozer. Was a very big Ashkenazi rabbi in Europe, very big. Until today everybody knows him in the yeshiva world. Rabbi Chaim Ozer told my father, where is your son going to school? So my father said he goes to public school. And you know, the public school 70 years ago was nothing compared to today. 70 years ago, it was all modest, all polite. When the teacher comes in, everybody rise. Teacher speak, everybody is quiet. No knife, no metal detector, no tattoos, no earrings, no drugs, no nothing. Nobody smoke. You know the public school of 70 years ago. The rabbi comes to him and says, you're sending your son to public school? You're not afraid? Have to transfer him immediately to yeshiva. They say, no, I want him to be a doctor, I want him to be this. It's better he's going to be there. So the rabbi said, if you're going to keep him in public school, I'm warning you, the next time your son will see the Torah will be in 70 years from now. You're not afraid? So my father, okay, Rabbi, he didn't get convinced. So this old man saying, I'm 83 years old today. The last time I went up to Torah, I was 13. Now I'm 83. So the words of the rabbi happened exactly. And now I'm 83 and you just gave me aliyah for 70 years. I didn't see the Torah once. So now the rabbi of the shul started to cry. Rabbi, what happened? They thought maybe the story touched to his heart. So he said, I'm crying because we are here in the city of Petach Tikva in Israel, and the street where this shul is named Rehov Rabbi Chaim Ozer. The name of the street is after that rabbi. And this shul names after him. So this person comes here and he tells me that rabbi in Europe 7 years ago told his father, the next time your grandson will see Torah will be in 70 years. Not only the word of the tzaddik happened 100%. Where did it happen from all the shuls in the world? He arrived, he's not the resident of Petach Tikva. He went to somebody and he brought him to the shul on Shabbat. Where? The shul in the street of Rabbi Chaim Ozer in Petach Tikva. You believe such a thing? That's the results of this public school. Today it's much worse. I wish it will be only this, that the next time he's going to get an aliyah, it's in 70 years. Today, age 18, she brings Mr. Lee home. Abba, meet my new boyfriend. Full of tattoos, Chinese. Hey, what's up, man? Comes like this with all these chains. No, you grow up a Jewish girl and look what she brought home. Or other things. DJ. What are you doing? I'm a DJ in a club. You know what's funny? When they say what they do, not only they're not embarrassed about it, they brag about it. Sometimes you talk to them, when you hear what they do, you want to vomit. But they don't even feel anything wrong. They brag about it. I'm a DJ, I'm this, I'm that. You know, one guy came to the rabbi and said, Rabbi, when I was not religious, when I wasn't religious, I didn't feel anything bad. Today, when I look at the things that I used to do, I want to die. I look at that, I can't believe I was like that. Rabbi told him, when a person lives inside the bathroom, he gets used to the smell. He doesn't feel anything is bad. Did you ever see these guys in Atlantic City cleaning the mirror with a spray, cleaning, the Spanish guys singing, whistling? Everybody who walks into the bathroom or in the airport, oh, they're gonna die there. People breathe. For 2 minutes they can't breathe from that horrible smell inside. But this guy, how you doing, amigo? What's going on here? Take amigo out for 1 minute. Talk to him outside. Let him breathe some fresh air. Bring him back inside. What will happen to him? Oh, it smells bad here. But when he was in, he didn't feel anything. When a person becomes rotten and he becomes worse and worse spiritually, he gets to a point he doesn't feel. He got used to it. Take him out, even for a week. Take him out. And now send him back. Now he feels everything. Because now it's all new. I remember one rabbi said that one time he walked in Yerushalayim and the sewer in Jerusalem exploded. The sewer. You know the smell in the sewer? The entire area of Yerushalayim, everybody walks like this. Nobody can breathe there. Till the city will fix it. He see 5 Arabs sitting in the middle of the street. They have a little box. They're eating lunch. Right by the sewer. Everybody dies there. They sit there and eat. They walk there. They got used to the smell. They don't feel. Somebody who passed by wants to die. Somebody that is inside the garbage got used to it. That's what happened to the non-religious people. When they're inside the garbage, they smile. I love it, Rabbi. You live your life, you let me do what I like. Once you get them out of there, a week later you bring them back, they say, oh, it's strange. Why? Same thing in a seminar. People who eat non-kosher food all the time. You bring them 3-4 days to the hotel, they eat only glad kosher food. Right away they change. The way they talk is different. Until now, how did they talk? And now they're already talking completely different. Before we finish, I thought maybe you have some questions that you would like to ask me while I'm here. If you have any question, even on different things that we spoke today, now it's the time. Any questions? Yeah.
If a person has tattoos, like how bad is that? Like, what's the...
To have a tattoo, to make a tattoo, it's a sin. To make it. Once it's on, that's it. It's not a sin anymore. To make it is a sin. You understand? The Torah says that we should not make tattoos on our body. Once it's done, it's done. There's nothing we can do. Today, there's ways to erase it.
It can be buried without it.
When a person died, they cut it with a razor. They just cut that skin or they burn it. But he doesn't feel anything, don't worry. His soul will be above and see how they cut the tattoo and put it in the garbage. Bury it separately. You know, but to do a tattoo, it's bad. Yes. But people don't realize it. In Israel, almost every other person today have tattoos.
Is that a makeup? Like, if a person has a tattoo, how does it make up to...
How to make up? When a person makes tshuva, the sin of the tattoo gets erased. If he becomes tzaddik, shomer Shabbat, whatever happened. There's nothing he can do. There's no obligation to erase it, in case that's what you're asking.
Yeah, but he's doing it on purpose and then thinking that he's going to fix it. It's not still sin.
No, it still count. It still count. No, it still count. You know, we have to understand that we all make things on purpose. We all do sins on purpose. Lashon hara, it's on purpose. Eating not 100% kosher, it's on purpose. Not waiting 6 hours between meat and cheese, it's on purpose. It's desires. All desires are on purpose. Smoking drugs, it's not on purpose. It's all on purpose. It's destroy the brain. It's destroy the brain. You know, I'm speaking to people every day. I have at least one case like this. That when you speak to them, I explain to them simple instructions. And they just can't catch. 5, 6, 7 times. They're asking the same question. They don't understand. Their head is messed up. Only for one reason, the drugs that they smoke. It destroys the brain cells. Every time they smoke pot, grass, they think, I feel great for an hour, I relax. If they only knew how many of their cells in their brain are dying every time, eventually the damage is so bad that there's no way to correct it. Cannot focus, you cannot learn, it makes you hyper later when the relaxation is over, it makes you feel worse. You have to understand, if HaShem wanted it, He would put it on our diet. Somebody asked me, why? So why HaShem made it? If He's so bad, why He made it? So I asked him, why HaShem made pig? For us, not to touch it. Very simple. Why HaShem made poison? For us to be careful from it. Everything has a reason, you know. The idea is that people don't pay enough attention how severe is that sin. Drugs, alcohol, all these things. The more they touch it, the more they violate the rules on the Torah. ונשמרתם מאוד לנפשותיכם. You have to watch your health very carefully. Also, people who know they have high cholesterol, they cannot just continue to eat steaks with fat and cheese and pizzas and chocolates and all these things that are destroying life. Because then later, they're 50, 60 years old, they one day fall and die. Or by the time they realize it's very difficult to correct it. The damage is already done. They need a bypass and all kinds of surgeries, which make them very bad. Any more questions?
No question. If you just said that drugs are bad, how come I know like some religious people, they keep everything, but they still do it then? How come the religious people do it then?
Well, religious people have Yetzer Hara just like non-religious people. The religious people have the knowledge what not to do. The religious people should have known, that certain things, it's going to be very difficult later to fix. I want to tell you, you know, in the brain we have 10 trillion connections. 10 trillion. 80% of it is water. The size of the brain is like an apple. The brain sends tens of millions of messages to the body every second. Tens of millions of messages to every ligament, to the nerve system, to the stomach, to the veins, to the muscles, to so many parts of the body. Such a sophisticated system. And then the brain records, the brain, which is actually the soul inside the brain, records everything in our life, everything, every minor things, every beep on the street, every siren, every talk, every loud scream, everything you hear, the brain records from all your lives. It's recorded from your previous life, from the life before, from the life before, from times that you spoke in different languages, even when you were a man, when you were a woman. Every time that you've been in this world, everything has been recorded in your subconscious. And you know, the eye, let's say I walked into this house. This house has many, many things. Pictures, this, air conditioning, chandeliers, lights, walls, so many things, chairs, people. Every item in this room has millions of things in it. For instance, a person, hair, eyes, eyebrows, nose, scars, pimples, these chairs, buttons. So many things to describe everything. Carpet, so many things, lines, flowers, these, the wood, scratches on the floor. Everything has been recorded. You have no idea what's going on here. And dimensions. You know what it is? An eye, the communication between the eye and the brain? They once calculated in science to create a system that operates like the eye of the human being. You need to surround the world 3 times with computers. One computer connects to the other, around the world 3 times to get to the ability of an eye of one person. You know? Did you know that? There's no understanding how this system works. Just to think that some people say that it was done by an explosion, random explosion. That system was created, Accidentally, come on. We have to give a little bit more credit, people that speak such foolish things. I give you one example. Inside the eye, you have millions of sivim. I don't know how to say sivim. It's lines. Huh?
To see color?
No, millions of sivim. It's like very thin lines, very thin. Millions of very thin lines, and broadcast to the brain light pictures, and there is 5 different liquids inside the eyes that each one protect the eyes from different problems. 5 different liquids. It's very interesting.
After they do the laser, the eyes kind of dry.
Right. I had a laser surgery and I suffer for 15 years with this problem. It cured the vision, but the eye will never be the same. It's very sensitive to the sun, and all kinds of things. How many times the heartbeat is in one hour?
1,000.
First, I should tell you that there is, every time the heart is beating, every beat, it sends 70 grams of blood. 70, that's how it works. Which is altogether a cycle of 5 liters, like 5 quarts of blood. Altogether 7,200 liters a day. 7,200 bottles of seltzer. In one day, the circulation of blood in our body. And it sends it to every vein in the body. And also to the veins inside the brain, which are thinner than a piece of air. If you take one hair out of your head, take this hair, it's like 1,000 veins from the brain combined. 1,000 veins from the brain, combine them, it's one hair. That's how thin they are. How does the body knows how much blood to send into that little veins in this liquid? And if one of them will get clogged, stroke. Ariel Sharon, 3 years in hospital. That's what happened to him. And the right side of the brain cannot move.
How do you collect this information? From internet or from Torah?
From science. From experiments that the scientists did. Not everything in details the Torah told us about the body. The Torah told us a lot of general things about the body, the kidneys, the liver, the heart. Whatever we need to know, the Torah said. Today, with the equipment that we have today, we are able to detect things that we couldn't tell 20 years ago. The technology is getting more and more advanced. And obviously, the more advanced... Excuse me?
Rambam?
Yeah, no. They know a lot of things from the Torah. Obviously, Rambam, there was no college, no medical school in his time, 850 years ago, but he was the greatest doctor in the world. The Torah told us the medicine to a lot of the sicknesses. But, again, first today we have sicknesses that were not exist in the time of the Torah, so we needed to know how to treat them. And HaShem gives us the intelligence to always develop new cures and new equipment, how to handle the problems, like everything else in life. Okay, just before we finish, last question. Any more questions? Yes. Why everybody laughs when somebody has a question? Because it's too hot here?
Ask him a question. You want to ask?
No, wait, answer.
Does a person get reincarnated into anything other than a human being?
Sure, I have a whole lecture about it in a website. Where have you been until now? You have to watch Life After Life lecture. It can be reincarnated in animals, in raw material, and in plants, flowers, fruits, vegetables.
So it's the worst.
And in autistic kids. The worst.
The leaves, right? Is the worst.
The worst is in animals, because they take the pure soul and attach it to the filthiest nefesh of the dog or the snake. It's horrible suffering for the soul. The connection, because we have neshama, ruach, and nefesh. When you take the neshama of a Jew or any person, which is a much higher than, and you connect it to a nefesh of a dog, it's a huge suffering. When a neshama connects to a nefesh of a person, there's no suffering. It's like supposed to be together. It's a set. But when you detach it from the nefesh, from the blood of a person, and attach it to a dog, It's a horrible spiritual suffering every second.
How about if you get originated to a leaf of a tree?
Leaves is also suffering. Usually when it's reincarnated in raw materials, it's like in a shul, for instance. In a shul, if we had spiritual eyes, we could see millions of souls in the walls of the shul. People are stuck there, and they have to be there for X amount of years. Usually it's people who did not come to pray in a shul, people who didn't come to daven in shul. Never, they walked by the shul, they never enter. People pray inside, say Kaddish, it's not for me. You understand? So people like this, a part of the punishment, you don't want to come to my house to pray with everyone, I'll stick you in a shul for 70 years. All day you hear Kaddish, Kedusha, Shmona Esrei, all day. Understand? Or in yeshiva.
So it depends on the averot, right?
Depend on the averot, depend what we do. Yeah, there's a book that explains to which sections in hell a person goes based on what sins. I can tell you that the worst sins are the 6th and the 7th places, the sections, 7 different sections. The 6th and the 7th are the worst. 6, it's all the sex crimes. All the sex crimes that are forbidden in the Torah, it's the 6th one. The 7th one, it's Mechalel Shabbat, wasting seed for a man on purpose. Okay, people that waste their seed without their wives, making sins with the ladies, with goyot, and all kinds of other ways. And Chilul Hashem, disgracing the name of Hashem, embarrassing the name of Hashem, the Torah, the honor of Hashem by being a Jew and making bad things, and people and the goyim say, look at them, look how they behave. This is the Jews, I can't believe it, and you know.
However, by taking somebody's life away.
It's not coming even near to Mechalel Shabbat or other sins, yeah.
What's worse?
Every time a person wastes his seeds, it's like murdering millions. It's like genocide. Because every time there's millions of seeds inside, and each seed connects to a soul. You understand? That's why, you know, it says that somebody who does this, it's mamash like murdering, mamash 100%. That's why in Yerushalayim they don't take the kids inside the cemetery. After the father died, they don't let the kids enter the cemetery. Why? Because of all the bad angels that were created from his seed, they go crazy when they see his kids. Why we didn't come to the world and he did? Okay, that's a sign from Shammai that we have to finish this telephone. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
and see you
Rabbi.
next Monday. Call to.
Zaka Baruch, Rabbi.